we're here to interview Dr. Curtis Cain about Proposition S.
It's a pleasure. It's good to see you both this morning.
Yeah. How will the levy increase be used after raises are given?
So the levy increase, actually there'll be multiple points of use when it comes to the levy increase itself. Not only will salary be adjusted, and what we're going to engage is a comparable rate study. We're going to look at what is happening across the county as it relates to pay for different positions, compare that to where we have our employee groups falling as a school district, and then make adjustments accordingly. That doesn't mean that every group will receive the same rate of increase, but every group is going to be a part of that comparative analysis and process. The other component is going to be benefits. We have a number of employees that are full-time or full-time equivalent staff, and they are not receiving, they don't qualify for benefits at this point in time. We want to go ahead and eliminate that gap because we know that not only do these employees need those benefits, from a comparative and competitive comparison, we have other districts that flat out are able to do it right now. It is hurting us from a competitive perspective, and we want to make sure we're able to close that gap. The other component is our SSOs. We want to add 2 additional school safety officers that will engage in what our current 4 SSOs are engaging in on a daily basis, which is providing physical presence and support at all of our elementary schools. Not only are they at elementary schools, they come to a number of sporting events as well. They've been a fantastic addition to our school district, and we want to make sure that those components are all in place.
How do increased assessed property values affect Rockwood's revenue?
So in theory, if we were to experience a windfall, i.e. as those property values increase, those dollars come to the school district, in theory we would likely not have to have this conversation. Mm-hmm. But there's something called the Hancock Amendment, which has been in place in Missouri since 1980, that says if you do see increases because of the Hancock Amendment, you can't receive higher than 5% or the consumer price index. So it puts a cap on what you're able to receive as a school district when it comes to that notion of increases. So there are structures and rules that are in place that prohibit us from receiving that windfall when it comes to increased revenues, as you were discussing. And so it's just a part of the funding mechanisms and realities that we have here in the state of Missouri, the rules that we play by, but it's definitely a point of not concern, but just a point that we have to work our way through.
Where do our tax dollars go?
That's a really, really good question. So we have a breakout of where our tax dollars in fact go. 68% of what we receive as it relates to funding goes to support what happens instructionally within our schools. And then we have more of a fractional breakout. We have facilities, school supplies, central administration, and then transportation. I can tell you we have this information on our FAQ document, and anyone is more than welcome to peruse that and to see the particulars in terms of how the funds themselves break out.
Was this decision reached with thoughts of the RNEA negotiations in mind from last year?
It was definitely a source of conversation throughout the RNEA negotiative process, but there are other employee groups that are impacted as well. And so it's just been an ongoing issue. I think people really need to just remember this simple fact. We have not had an operating levy increase for salaries in the Rockwood School District since 1994, which is a date that you all couldn't even begin to remember, but this high school was 1 year old in 1994. It's been a very, very long time.
Rockwood has one of the lowest tax rates in St. Louis County, and 79% of our budget comes from local funding.
Correct.
How can both these things be true, but we're still ranked the number 3 school district?
So there are 22 comparative school districts in St. Louis County, and every one of them has their own unique funding structure when it comes to their tax rate and their tax base as well. And so everybody has its own composition in terms of what it looks like. For example, there are districts that have literally much more commercial base or industrial base that is used to offset and ultimately inform their tax rate. There are school districts that have casinos within them. They utilize those resources to impact their tax rate. And there's a school district that has an airport that's within it. And I can promise you that makes a difference from taxation if that happens to be your reality. So it's really a contextual, like 22 different contextual realities that school districts ultimately are utilizing whatever puzzle pieces they have in front of them and ultimately deciding their fiscal reality moving forward from there.
What issues do you see into this proposition, and how is Rockwood combating these issues?
We don't take this lightly. This conversation of increasing tax rate within our school district, we don't take lightly. I think that your point about tax rate is an important one. It's not only is it at a 30-year low for us as a school district, but where we are ranking compared to other school districts, the truth is reality is starting to fight against us. We don't take it lightly at all, and we want to make sure that our community is informed. We're a critical part of the community. We're not the community in its totality, but we're a critical piece within the community. And we want Rockwood to continue to do what it's done literally for decades, is be one of the leaders, I believe, not only within this county and this region and the state. I also think we're a national leader as well. But we have to recognize that the field is catching up and has in many ways caught us when it comes to comparative rates. The numbers really and truly speak for themselves. We need this one-time boost to stay competitive. I have zero doubt of what our staff can do on a daily basis. We just need to make sure we are in a position to take care of our staff.
When is the election?
The election is Tuesday, November 4th.
And who can vote in the November 4th election?
Anyone that is eligible actually to vote. And in the county of St. Louis, there isn't about any one polling location, right? You can vote at a variety of locations in St. Louis County. But November 4th, that Tuesday, that's the day.
How do I register to vote?
You can jump onto the elections page and find more information out in terms of how to go about the process of, in fact, voting.
I appreciate you answering our questions for us. Thank you for your time.
It's my pleasure. It's been good talking with both of you.